In this video we'll look at the Baseline tool. So the Baseline tool is designed to provide a record of the faunal communities that are present within extraction areas and the wider region. And what you can see in the map here is lots of points where grab samples have been collected by a variety of different organisations at different times for different purposes. And these data have all been brought together and analysed together to provide a baseline picture of the fauna around the UK. If you want more information about that work, you can click on the About tab, and then down at the bottom is a link to the paper. If you click on that, it'll take you to the journal website, and in that paper you'll find lots of information about the data, how they were collated, how they were analysed, and crucially there's a table here which summarises the nature of each of those cluster groups. And there are 12. You get here in table 1 the characterising species and information about the richness and the abundance of each group. So going back to the Baseline tool, if I just turn off all those sample points for a minute and just show you how the tool can be used. So the first decision is to choose an aggregate producing region, and all of the 7 regions are listed here. So you make a selection and the map will automatically take you to that region. Having made that selection, you can then choose the extraction area, and these are the extraction areas that are found in the region that you've chosen. And you can choose an individual license area. So here I've chosen area 483, and you can see that now highlighted in grey in the map. Now most of these license areas will just have a single company operating there. In this case it's Demi, but for 1 or 2 licenses there may be more than one operator. So for example 481/1, there are 2 companies operating on that license, and you can choose whichever is appropriate. And the reason for doing that is that that'll change the information here, and if you want to produce a baseline report, then you can log in, and that'll bring up a button, and it will make sure that that company name, the relevant company name, is on the front cover. So having made our choice, we'll go back to area 483. Let's come over to the map. Now the map is interactive, so you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can even make it full screen if you wish to. You can also move the map around, and you can overlay different layers. So at the moment we've got the PIZ, that's the primary impact zone, or the license area is displayed. You can uncheck that and it'll disappear. You can also turn on the SIZ, that's a secondary impact zone, and it comes up as an orange polygon. And you can turn on the sample locations, and you can display those either the faunal group or the physical group. The physical group is basically all the stations have been put into a number of bins according to similar environmental conditions. So if I just turn that on, so all the stations with the same colour are subject to broadly similar physical environmental conditions, and then you can turn on the faunal group on top of that. So every station has both a physical and a faunal cluster group associated with it. So I'll just turn off the physical group just to make it a bit easier to see, and we can now zoom into our license area of interest for area 483. And now if we move over to the right hand side of the screen, this is some information about what you're looking at essentially in the map. So first of all, on the graph tab, we've got a graph here which has the faunal cluster groups on the x-axis and the number of stations on the y-axis. And this bar chart relates to the UK level, and you can also look at this at the regional level. So this is the picture for the Humber region, and also for the footprint of dredging effects. It's the PIZ, SIZ for area 483. So if you look at the map here, you can see you've got 31 of these sort of khaki coloured samples, 19 of the yellow ones, 35 of the red, 10 of the green, and so on and so forth. You can also look at the information by the physical group as well. If you go back to the region, you'll see that within the Humber region it's sort of dominated by these two sort of physical groups. The second tab is just a table which lists all the samples that you're looking at, and you've got information like the sample code, the physical group association, the faunal group, latitude, longitude, the year, and there may also be an RSMP code. So a subset of these stations are included in the Aggregate Industries Regional Seabed Monitoring Plan, and so they would have a unique RSMP code associated with the station. This table will update according to what you're looking at, as I say, the UK, the regional, or the license specific scale, and you can produce a CSV file of that information if you so wish. On the final tab is some statistics. So these are the faunal groups that are present within our footprint of potential effect. This is the number of samples that are associated with each group. This is the number of samples for each group in the wider region, the number of samples that fall within the footprint of dredging effect for all licenses within the region, and then the number of samples within our particular license relative to the number in the wider region, and the same number of samples within our area of interest relative to all the footprint of dredging effect in the wider region. And the top part of the table is for the faunal information, and then the bottom is for the physical group. So that's a sort of summary of the tool. If you wish to produce a PDF report of the baseline, then and you're one of the operating companies, then you're supplied with login details, and you can press this button and that will produce a PDF report, and that takes a few seconds to come up, but it should appear in a moment, and we can go in and have a look. So we can open that. So each report has a front cover which gives you a summary of the license that we're looking at, and then there are 3 pages with a map and a bar chart, and looking at the PIZ SIZ on the first page, looking at the region on the second page, and then of the whole UK on the third page. This allows you to put the site into wider context. And then the last page is really the statistics and the list of the sampling stations within the PIZ SIZ. And that's it. So that's how the tool works. Thanks for listening.